What's up guys, Barry Gaming here, back with more Idle Heroes, and we are continuing with our Support Hero Guide series. I hope you guys checked out the Heart Watcher one. Let me know what you think so far. We're going to try to put a couple of these out every day until we hit all the support heroes in the game, at least touch base on most of the most popular. Go over some of the more obscure ones down the road that might help only in one certain part of the game, or be decent early game. But today I feel like the best one right after Heart Watcher to go over would be Kroos, our big hulking guy that misses out on leg day. Look at those little legs, so small. But Kroos, he is an amazing support hero, mainly early to mid game. He's decent into the late game, but he pretty much falls off late game both in PvE and PvP. But before we go too much into him, let's start with his skills. So his weak curse, his first active skill, what it does is it targets 4 random enemies on the enemy team and it weakens them for 3 rounds. So what that does is it will cause damage taken by those targets to increase by 50%. This does not stack with multiple Kroos or by himself. And one thing to note, when you are pairing him with Heart Watcher, the 300% that Heart Watcher adds, this is additive. So with Heart Watcher and Kroos, it'll go up to 350%. So it's not a huge buff, which is one of the reasons why late game, he doesn't really hold his own weight in PvE. Really, there's other heroes that do things better, and it's only 50% additive to Heart Watcher's 300, so it's not all that much. The other thing it does do, which is very good, it gives 100% energy to a random ally, so it instantly gives them the energy to do their own active. One thing to note is this can hit himself, so he can literally, if he's the only hero alive, he can go into a 100% energy chain and just use weak curse every single turn, which most of the time you do not want it hitting Kroos himself. His first passive skill, basically talking about his basic attack, it hits all backline enemies. So in PvP, this is very good for removing Amun-Ra shields, and it also reduces armor by 15% for 3 rounds. So this is very good to have. And it also, it's not a smart heal, but it targets 2 random allies on your team and gives them a 20% HP heal. That's really huge if you're hitting your big carries that have tons and tons of health. It's one of the best heals, I think, overall, because it's not based on your heroes, your healer's attack damage like Belrain does, or like Amun-Ra, where it's based on how much damage your team is taking from the shields. But it's just a flat 20% heal, so very good heal. If it was a smart heal, I think he'd be even more powerful, but because it's random, a lot of times you'll hit people who are still at full health or can't get the maximum benefit of that heal. Over to the second passive, we have HP, speed, and damage reduce. These 3 right here just make him amazing for PvP. They're all stats you want. Damage reduce is amazing because you don't want your Kroos to get one shot. Speed is great, so we can go first, get some Amun-Ra shields knocked off, lower the armor of the back line, and then also HP, just so again he doesn't get one shot. His last passive is what he is truly built for when it comes to PvP. When he takes damage and falls below 50% HP for the first time and one time only in combat, he has a 75% chance to stun all enemies for 2 rounds. That's crazy. This is a hero that lets mid-game players that might only have a couple E5s actually win against teams that are almost full E5 due to like a 6 hero stun on the enemy team. It is brutal and so strong, and why you mainly see Kroos, usually just a 9 or a 10 star, and that's pretty much what we have here. We use a 10 star on this account just for PvP, just so that it stuns the other team. It is such a good utility on top of his damage buff, his energy that he gives to other people, his armor reduction, and his heal. So between all those, he is an ideal early, mid, and kind of late game PvP hero. He does fall off in the full E5 meta. There's much better options in my opinion, but before the full E5 meta hits your server, he is a very good PvP hero. As far as gear goes, you usually want to do split gear, kind of like Heart Watcher does. Again, this is just kind of piecemeal together, but most people run 2 6-star and 2 5-star here. If you do have priest gear, you can split it, and especially if you have like an Amon Ra, you guys can swap off, put 2 pieces of priest gear on here, and then 2 6-star, so that's really good. Overall, again, this is not optimal, but for stone, I personally like using like either an HP or an HP speed stone. Speed's very important, again, to try to knock off those Amon Ra shields before your main damage dealers hit the enemy team. And of course, HP just so he doesn't get one shot. If he does get one shot from even 51% health down to 0, his last passive that does the stun will not proc. He has to fall anywhere between 1% HP and 50%. If he dies outside of that range, he will not proc the stun. So it's very, very important to make sure he is tanky enough. Again, I like running Wind God Messenger just for more speed, more HP, just better overall, I think. The other option is you could always throw on like a Fearless Armor if your Kroos is getting one shot or taking too much damage. The damage reduce will help ensure that his final passive will stun the other team. I really don't recommend enabling Kroos at all unless you are using him for Sealand for Abyss. Overall, you don't want him to live too long. You want to make sure he's not as tanky as your damage dealers, your support healers, things like that. So you want him to go down, fall below 50% HP, and let your carries clear out the other team. So one thing I will note is in Sealand for Abyss, most of the time you want to have a level, probably like an E5 Kroos, to be your frontline tank for your scaries. So there's 2 routes you can go when building Sealand. The first one is Solo Cthulhu with 5 6-star destroyers for extra damage. That can get you to Sealand 15, 16, 17. But if you want to go all in on Abyss Sealand, you are going to have to build a scary army. And if you are building a scary army, in my opinion, Kroos is an amazing support hero to build because he can be that frontline tank. In Sealand 18, 19, 20, you need a hero in the front line that has Unbending Will, the E5 enable. You need that so he can tank hits, let your scaries build up those marks, and get to a second active skill because that's what will clear out the entire enemy team. If you're not building for Sealand, keep him at 10-star. That's really all you need. As far as skins go, he does have an amazing one that fits his kit perfectly. HP, damage reduce, and speed. These are all amazing for PvP. So if you are using Kroos in the mid, early to late game, it's a good skin to get. If you get it, use it. I would never spend relics to get it, but if you do by chance stumble upon it, grab at least the basic. Don't worry about upgrading it unless for some reason you just have a ridiculous amount of skin fodder. This one is perfectly fine. So I'll kind of go through and let's jump into a fight, mainly PvP, just so you can see how his ability works. This should be a decent matchup. Again, you'll see a 9-star Kroos as well, so that'll be a really good matchup here. Looks good for our lineup. Let's jump in. We'll slow the combat down just so you can see how this hero works here. So you see that slot 1 for the enemy team. It's a good idea because slot 1 will take the most hits, which will make you lose the health the most. So right here, look at that right there. We have 5 of our heroes stunned from a 9-star Kroos. That is what makes him so amazing in PvP and so strong right here. And then you see that he got a heal off as well. Purify does make him weaker now. He was much better before Purify was around, but even with Purify, now there's other debuffs that are still stuck on your heroes. So as you can see, our Kroos in slot 2, he's not taking as many hits, so he's not falling down and losing health. And because he's 10-star versus 9-star, he's just going to live longer. So let's see if we get to him proccing. Ooh, is he even gonna? Let's see here. We got 2 pennies. It just comes down to if penny crit. So right there, we got another one. We have 1 stun, which is really good. We're going to have a Kroos active, so you can see right now we have 2 active skills here, none down here. Now none for all 3. We didn't get to see the active. Darn. Let's go through one more, see if we can show you what Kroos' active actually does. But you will see at the end of the first round, hopefully, his, and see right there, 2 more stuns. Perfect. You'll see Kroos hit the entire back line right there, lower their shields, or sorry, their armor, which means they'll just take more damage as well. But we should be coming up on a Kroos active, I think. Let's see here. So we don't have any energy on the back. Horus does have energy, though. Should be up to Kroos, I think, soon. Oh, man. Hopefully we don't kill him before... So, yeah, it looks like he actually hit Garuda, who already had the full energy. But you do see this little green mark right here. That is from Kroos' mark that makes him take 50% more damage. So, let's just watch one more fight, get a good feel of how he works in PvP. All right, there, look at that. 5 stuns again. It's amazing. And this is really what makes you be able to be an underdog. This, honestly, without this Kroos, there would probably be no chance for this team to win. But because of that stun, it gives them that one little extra turn to have a chance to win against a more powerful team. Of course, in a full E5 meta, a 10-star is just going to be pretty useless overall on your team. Let's see, is Kroos going to get one more active off? Don't think so. Nope, not going to get it off. So you kind of get a decent idea why Kroos is so good in PvP early and mid game, even into late game. End game, though, he doesn't provide enough compared to other heroes, or compared to having another damage dealer on your team in PvP, or another actual healer like a Belrain or an Amun-Ra. But guys, if you're looking for a hero to slot in and you don't want to waste food on making them an E5 or even enable them, period, Kroos is an amazing hero. This account has had Kroos forever. I mean, forever. He's been an either 9-star or eventually 10-star. It's a great hero to have because you don't need to invest too much in him. You just need to use the food from Abyss faction and you're good to go. So I hope this kind of, you know, helped explain Kroos, show a couple of the high points of him, and kind of explain why the downside of him in the long run of enabling him is. So if you have a chance, build a Kroos. Amazing support hero, especially for PvP. It'll help you win some fights that you really shouldn't win when the other team is much more powerful. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys hit the like button. Let me know what you think of this series, and I'll see you guys in the next one.